I'm Dustin Harder, and this is Keep On Cooking. Hello and welcome to Keep On Cooking, the only podcast dedicated to plant-based cookbooks. I'm your host, Dustin Harder, and I have such a special announcement to kick us off today. I've been talking about it a little bit here as the weeks have gone by, but my new food concept, Smash Food Lab, is about to launch here in Chicago. It will make its debut this coming Sunday on June 29th at Loaves and Witches in the Edgewater neighborhood. We collaborated to bring you 3 ridiculously yummy brunch options. It's actually part of Loaves and Witches birthday celebration weekend. So be sure to check out the Loaves and Witches Instagram for all the other amazing things they have going on during the weekend to celebrate. Lots of different vendors and people they're collaborating with. So it's going to be super fun, and I'm honored to be part of it. So what you can expect on Sunday for the brunch, well, first is the Monte Cristo roll. Listen, it's going to be the signature Loaves and Witches cinnamon roll dough stuffed with vegan cheese and raspberry preserves, layered with Chicago-made Upton's Naturals bacon, seitan. You know I love Upton's Naturals. Finished with a dusting of powdered sugar honeys and served with extra raspberry preserves on the side so you can get jammy with it. And then there are the garlicky cheddar biscuits and sausage gravy. Oh my God, y'all. This is like a melt in your mouth kind of party, right? So imagine the Red Lobster biscuits, basically, right? The Cheddar Bay biscuits smothered in sausage gravy. These are buttery drop biscuits loaded with vegan cheddar and garlic, smothered with a rich, and the top is brushed with roasted garlic, thanks to the marvelous baker Michael at Loaves and Witches for thinking of that. And then those biscuits are smothered in a rich, savory sausage gravy. Again, we're featuring Chicago-made Upton's Naturals Italian seitan in that. I love making my sausage gravy with that. So the garlicky cheddar biscuits and sausage gravy is the other one. And third, last, but certainly not least, we wanted to be sure to offer a hearty gluten-free option. When we were talking about gluten-free options, I was like, well, what about a yogurt parfait with fruit? And everybody was like, how about something real for the gluten-free people this time? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, we're going in on some hearty comfort foods here. Let's do it for our gluten-free friends. So we've created the brunch sandwich. This is going to be on Loaves and Witches absolutely delicious roasted garlic gluten-free focaccia bread stacked with arugula, a house-made breakfast sausage patty that I've worked on really hard for y'all, tofu egg patty, and finished with a caramelized onion and tomato jam that will have you wanting more, licking your fingers. I promise you. It's all gluten-free, this sandwich, but not flavor-free, my friends. So I really hope you can come join us on Sunday, June 29th at Loaves and Witches to celebrate their 1-year birthday and the launch of Smash Food Lab. I'm really looking forward to it, and I might have some cute Smash merch to give away, and I believe we will also be selling copies of my book, The First Epic Vegan, with the proceeds going to a charity. I'm not sure yet. We haven't chosen which one yet. So more to come on that, or when you are there that day, obviously we'll be able to tell you where we're donating the proceeds to. On that note, 2 of the recipes, the Monte Cristo roll and the biscuits and gravy, are actually from that book, Epic Vegan. So if you come and you like the bites, you can buy the book and make them for yourself at home. Now listen, I got a lot more I'm going to tell you about Smash Food Lab as time unfolds here, but for now, that is the main thing I wanted to tell you. We're launching the brand Sunday, June 29th at Loaves and Witches with this brunch collaboration, and I really hope you will join us. Now, let's get into today's episode. Plants for You, a vegan, plant-based, family-friendly cookbook. Plants for You offers 80 mouthwatering recipes such as crowd-pleasing vegan crab cakes, indulgent chocolate mousse, sushi, dumplings, cookies, and ice cream. The focus of each recipe is wholesome ingredients, delectable flavors, and satisfying textures. You can feel great knowing that each recipe is plant-friendly and health-promoting. The author and today's guest is Diana Goldman. She is a chef, food photographer, and culinary educator based in Boston. She is the creator of Beantown Kitchen, named one of the top 100 plant-based blogs by FeedSpot. Diana has presented about plant-based cuisine at numerous companies, organizations, and institutions, including Unilever, the Sierra Club, the T. Colin Campbell Center for Nutrition Studies, Harvard University, and MIT. She has also been awarded multiple grants from Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare to teach healthy cooking classes in Boston. That's wonderful. Diana's recipes and articles have been featured in several popular plant-based spaces online, including Forks Over Nice, Veg World magazine, the T. Colin Campbell Center for Nutrition Studies, and Nourish magazine. Diana received a BS in Nutritional Sciences from Cornell University and an Education Master's from Harvard University. She adopted a plant-based lifestyle in 2013 and since then has continued her nutrition and culinary education. She loves sharing what she's learned and the recipes she has created with others. Here she is to tell us all about her debut cookbook, Plants for You. It's Diana Goldman. She is a chef, food photographer, and culinary educator based in Boston. She is also the creator of Beantown Kitchen, named one of the top 100 plant-based blogs by FeedSpot. Please welcome to the Keep On Cooking podcast, Diana Goldman. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Well, it's good to see you. We're going to get right into your icebreaker question here. So, what's your go-to way to spend a lazy Sunday?
I love a lazy Sunday. Definitely want to go for a walk somewhere beautiful by myself or with friends or my husband or my family members. Definitely want to cook something, which is just a total joy and pleasure. My husband and I are really into playing a card game called Poof. So we'll play that frequently.
I'm writing it down. I'm like,
Poof,
ooh,
it's
okay.
really so basic and so simple, but
That's exactly what I need. That's great.
You like, yeah. And my family really likes playing too. So we'll take it on vacation with us.
Is it an actual deck of cards, or do we need to buy a game called Poof?
You have to buy the game called Poof.
That's okay. Just want to know what I'm looking for. Okay.
Right. Good. Yep. So it's kind of simple, pretty addictive. And watch something on TV or a movie or something. Sounds like a great day to me.
Yeah, that's nice. I think mine's along the same lines. I'm always like sort of like structured in terms of like, oh, I need to recipe test this, or I've got to cook this thing or write this thing or do this thing. So when it comes to Sunday, if I'm able to, usually it's a podcast situation because it comes out every Tuesday. So I'm usually like editing something or, working on the next episode and stuff like that. But if I'm able to clear the Sunday, it's a slow morning, which is like, oh, dreams. I always try and have like gym stuff done for the week too by Sunday. So at least I know Sunday morning I can like get up, slowly have a cup of coffee, hang out with my dog, maybe make like something decadent like pancakes or French toast or something, like really enjoy the morning and then kind of just like see where the day goes, whether it's just like hanging at home or going out somewhere. I'm in Chicago in the summer. There's festivals for everything everywhere. So like that was like Sundays often this past summer. We'd be like, oh, well, this thing's going on. Let's go do that. So, food and chill, basically, right?
Absolutely. Pajamas till noon.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Well, Diana, you've presented to many audiences and written many articles about the health benefits of a plant-based diet and the lifestyle, in addition to your education at Cornell and Harvard. But what got you into cooking and when did it all go vegan for you?
Yeah, great question. So I come from a family of very enthusiastic cooks and entertainers. And that included me. It's our family culture, whether it's my husband's family, my family, sister-in-law, kids, we all really enjoy it. Well, about 11 years ago now, I watched a documentary, and it's about the ways in which we use animals for food, entertainment, and clothing. And I was pretty disturbed about what I saw. And when I was finished watching it, I thought, I don't think I want to consume animal foods anymore, but do we need to? And I mean, I just have to say, I woke up the previous day, I was someone who loved steak and loved chicken and loved fish and loved eggs, and all of it. I was all in. And so I asked myself, do we need to consume animal foods to survive, basically? Now, I had studied nutritional science as an undergraduate, so my professor was T. Colin Campbell at Cornell.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of like went back to my nutrition knowledge and I read a little bit, and it didn't take me long to realize that a plant-based diet can be nutritionally adequate and may even be beneficial for the prevention and reversal of disease. And I'm like, if we don't need to consume animal foods, and if we do, I'm troubled by what the suffering that I learned about. I don't think I want to. So I actually adopted a plant-based diet pretty quickly.
Sure.
But But I told you my family loved to cook and entertain. I have 3 daughters, and they love my flank steak and roast chicken and this and that and the
Yeah.
other. So that was tough for me. On the other hand, I decided I was gonna try a new plant-based dish every day for a year. And I looked on the internet, on Amazon, and I said, "Which cookbook is the most popular vegan cookbook?" And I came across I know you interviewed, Isa Chandra
Oh
Moskowitz
yeah.
Moskowitz a number of times. I came across Isa Does It, and I just started cooking my way through it. And I have to tell you, she pretty much taught me how to cook vegan food, and she opened up my eyes to how incredible it could be. And then little by little I started getting kind of confident in sharing this food with others. I and my family was really enthusiastic. My husband was loving the food. Shortly afterwards he became vegan. But like this cooking and entertaining made me nervous. Like, could I invite people over and just give them plant-based food? Like,
Right.
were
Right.
they going to feel the need to eat before they arrive? Or are
Yep.
they going to not like the food or leave hungry? But I started doing it, and I got up the guts. Like, I guess, so what if they come over and they have a vegan meal? It's not going to kill them. And what I found was they were saying, like, I really like this food. Can you share the recipe? I was like, absolutely. And I was sharing recipes, and that's where I started a blog. Or I really like this food, and could you teach me how to cook it? And that's where I found myself with a cooking business. And I
Hmm.
really like this food. Will you cook for me? And next thing you know, I have a small catering business. So
Yeah.
it just, I didn't see it coming, but evolved into really such an incredibly wonderful career and form of activism for me. And
Yeah.
I've been able to integrate it really, and it's been really wonderful.
That's fantastic. I love that you said Issa does it because, I've got, I think all of hers are sitting behind me on that shelf. And it's that one. I love them all, but like really I've turned to that one so many times. There was a period when I lived in New York and I was working as a private chef that like I would, be moving around really fast and need some ideas, and I would just turn to that book, and it always came through for me. I always had something I was able to pull out of there and create a variation of it. It's such a phenomenal book. So was that, because my next question is, what was your first vegan cookbook? That was your first vegan cookbook that you own then?
Yeah, so
Okay.
that
All
was the
right.
one, yeah, and totally, and when people were saying, "Can you share the recipe?" So many of them at first were coming out of her cookbook.
Sure.
And I think there was, I'm in Boston, so there was probably a big boost in sales in the Boston area of that cookbook. Like, what's going on? So many people
Yep.
are buying this cookbook. Yeah, so that was the first, but there's so many great ones. I have a huge bookshelf
I love
of
it.
vegan cookbooks. And then eventually, like, as you know, you have your own taste and you have
Mhm.
your own way of doing things, and you start veering in different directions, and you're curious and you want to experiment and make some changes. And next thing you know, I turned to all of these cookbooks, but I was developing my own recipes that became
Yeah.
my go-to recipes.
That's great. Putting your own spin on it. That's lovely. I love
Exactly.
to tell our listeners part of learning to cook, because so many people are like, "Oh, I'm so scared I'm gonna like mess it up or do this." I'm like, get in the kitchen, mess it up, make a mess up the
Totally.
recipe, figure out what works for you, follow a recipe, and then decide what you love about it, and then break the rules and make your own recipe out of it. That's
Oh,
part of
it
the fun of
is
cooking, you know?
so true.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And just like, yeah, exactly, get cooking. And figure out what ingredients you like to use,
Yep.
and which cookbook authors speak to you. And there's so many
Yeah.
recipes available to us now on the internet,
It's
in whatever
wild.
form you like
Yeah.
to get them. Yeah.
It's so
So
funny. This podcast alone, every episode is a cookbook. Either, and I usually have the author on. Sometimes it's just me going through one. And it's like, there will never be a shortage of cookbooks to talk about, specifically plant based cookbooks, too. At that,
I
there's never
know.
going to be a shortage of it. There's so many great ones out there.
So
So,
fantastic.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of cookbooks, let's talk about your cookbook, Plants for You, vegan, plant-based, family-friendly cookbook. You open things up with an introduction detailing your journey to veganism and the benefits of eating plant-based, and you give great tips on prepping plant-based meals with success. And then we get into the recipes of it. You start off with a breakfast and brunch chapter. So, what is a must for you from this chapter to wow the brunch crowd?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So I absolutely love cooking breakfast and brunch. It's like one of my favorites. I said I love entertaining. So it's like I have people staying in my house. I just
Mm-hmm.
recently had my brother staying here, for instance, and I get excited about putting out a spread of options. So for sure, I like doing maybe tofu scramble. Um, really flavor it up, put out some hot sauce with it for the hot sauce lovers, some avocado for the avocado lovers, some cilantro if you like cilantro. Okay, and then some roasted potatoes. I love with that too. My parents are both British. I was born in England. I don't know, maybe it's like a British thing, but we just love our roast potatoes for breakfast.
Sure,
So
sure, sure,
for sure,
sure.
some roast
Yep.
potatoes, maybe some avocado toast, always some fruit.
Well, and
Um,
so wait, British, do you like beans with your breakfast then?
I do like
Isn't that a
them
thing? That's a thing,
sort of.
right? That's
Yes,
like the British
yes.
breakfast is like tomato slices. Am I making that up? And like
Tomatoes,
beans,
beans, and
sausage,
right?
and toast, I feel
So
like.
exactly.
Yeah,
And we
yeah, yeah,
used to
yeah.
have a contraption. Um, it was like it opened it up. It was like an iron. You'd put your bread in it, you'd put your beans, you'd put your
Oh, wow.
tomatoes, and you'd close it up and you'd put it on the stove and you'd grill your beans on toast that
Oh,
way.
like a little
Yes.
hot pocket almost.
A hot pocket, and I'll bet
Wow.
there'll be people listening who'll go, "Oh, yes, I know what that is. I know what
Yeah,
that is." Um,
interesting.
I don't think my mom has it anymore, but it's in antique stores somewhere probably. Yeah,
What
so
is it? Does the device have a name? Can you
oh,
recall?
boy, someone's gonna know what the name
Because
is. I
now
don't know what it was.
my wacky brain is like, I just want to make a bunch of different hot pocket sort of situations on the stovetop
Yeah,
as
you
well.
have to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
They're
Uh-huh.
probably selling on eBay for
Uh-huh.
thousands.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
You know
But
what it is? It's like a panini. But the
okay.
bread, it was round, so you'd put the 2 pieces of bread in, and I think you'd butter the metal contraption first,
Okay.
and then you'd close it, and the some of the bread would fall away
Okay.
because you
Yes.
have your
And you'd
square
get
piece
that.
of
Yep.
bread.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Mhm.
so
Yeah,
good.
Hot Pocket.
Hot Pocket, breakfast Hot Pocket. And there's so
Yeah.
many great options in this chapter, everybody. It's avocado toast with sprouts and cherry tomatoes. There's a granola, berry chia jam, yogurt parfait, carrot lox, giving us the carrot lox in
Oh,
there.
yes.
And you talked about the tofu scramble and the crispy roasted potatoes with bell peppers and onions, almond poppy seed oatmeal, hearty and wholesome quinoa pancakes. I love a variation of a pancake like that with some wholesome
Totally,
grains. Uh,
right?
and tell me about the smoky chickpea scramble with spinach and carrot.
So, it's just, look, when we eat, aren't we looking for something to kind of bite into oftentimes, something that's filling oftentimes? I'm always thinking about nutrition, how to boost the nutrition of things, and then we want things to be nicely flavored.
Mm-hmm.
So what I love about that dish is, first of all, the chickpeas, which are high in protein, excellent source of amino acids. Plus, when we're looking to have filling dishes, we turn to things like beans and grains and starchy vegetables. So that's kind of the beans. It's going to make you feel nice and full. And then the smokiness, the lemon to give it some brightness. I just think that that's a really satisfying dish.
Yeah, it sounds very satiating. And that takes
Yeah.
us into appetizers, snacks, and sides. And I have my eyes on the Mexican street corn. I think it would be my husband's favorite. What's a favorite for you from this chapter?
Okay, let me take a look. Favorite from that chapter. Um, oh, well, so many, so many. So I agree with you that Mexican street corn it's creamy, it's flavorful. Who doesn't love corn? My farmer's market nearby in the summertime. I'm here in Boston, like I said. There's always great corn, and I'll grab
Mm,
that. And it's kind of one of my go-tos is that Mexican street corn. Um, so it's a little bit of an effort, but mushroom tofu and cabbage dumplings. So,
mm.
for instance, I'm having friends for dinner this weekend, and I like to pick a theme. And the theme is going to be just basically Asian dishes, which
Great.
is huge. So I'm like all over the place. I've got something Thai, I've got something
Yeah,
Japanese,
yeah.
Chinese, something Indian. And I'm going to start with these mushroom and tofu and cabbage dumplings. I don't know. I just feel like when you've made an effort to make dumplings for somebody and you put them out and they've got a dipping sauce and
Yeah.
the you've gone to a special effort for them.
Yeah.
So I don't do it frequently, but yeah,
And it's
that's
a dumpling. I mean, they're
yeah.
gonna be satisfied. They're gonna be so happy with that. That's so
They are,
yummy. Yeah,
exactly,
that's a
and
good
so
one.
flavorful. And then, of course, buffalo cauliflower bites,
Oh
it's
yeah.
like I'm not a huge football fan, but people are watching a football game, like, put out the buffalo cauliflower bites, and you're in the theme there. Um, and then, oh, so I do have a page on building your own appetizer platter. So I really do like to help people, as they say, we eat with our eyes, helping people to create, you're going to a potluck, you want to bring something, building your own appetizer platter, make it look beautiful. It's very,
Mhm.
very easy to do with the different components. And I show people how to do that. And it's a nice thing to turn up. Last weekend, we went to like a cocktail hour.
Mhm.
Bring that appetizer platter. You sit around. It's just easy. People love to nibble on it. No
Yeah.
one's saying, "Oh, this is vegan." It's
Yep.
just like, "Oh, this is just delicious crudité and,
Delicious food that's
dip
out there.
and
Yeah.
the cheese and whatever, vegan cheese." So that's fun. And then yeah. So those are some of my favorites from
Yeah,
that.
those are good ones. You even have a ranch dipping sauce in here for those buffalo cauliflower
Yeah.
bites. Want to make sure I tell everyone about that. We got a mango guacamole and chickpea fries. So many good things. Roasted vegetable dip with pomegranate molasses. And this
Yeah.
takes us into soups, bowls, and salads. It has us covered with a variety, including curried chickpea salad, crispy tofu bites, sweet and sour tofu rice salad, red lentil and spinach dal, kale salad with mango and black beans, and rainbow Thai bowl with peanut, lime, ginger
Mhm.
sauce. Sign me up. What is a go-to item in this chapter for you?
Oh, wow. So that Mediterranean Caesar salad with some crispy tofu for sure. That's definitely one of my husband's
So
favorites.
tell me what makes that Mediterranean then. What's the spin on the Caesar
Okay, so the
salad here?
spin on it is my Caesar dressing. I actually add some olives to it to make it nice
Mm-hmm.
and briny and
Yeah.
salty. And I also add some dried oregano.
Okay. Delicious.
So it just kind of takes it in that slightly Mediterranean direction.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I also put some croutons on it. My husband absolutely loves croutons, and we're always looking for ways, as we all are, to like not waste food. So
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
such a fantastic thing to do with stale bread. And those also have some Mediterranean flavors with some thyme and some oregano as well. So that's one. Let's see. Oh my
Oh, I'm
gosh.
looking at this Caesar dressing. I'm always trying variations of other people's Caesar dressing because
Yeah.
I feel I make a very good one. So I
I'm
love
sure.
to try other people's as
What's
well.
in yours?
It's pretty much it's along the same lines. We've got like a nut base. You've got cashews in here, but then I'll do the Dijon, the lemon juice, a little bit of garlic. The miso to me is like a must in a Caesar dressing. And it's interesting. So I
Totally.
can't wait to try this because I love the olive approach. Lately, I've been, if I have capers on me, I'll put some capers in there, or I will just
Yeah.
drizzle the juice in, or I'll drizzle
Yeah.
olive juice in specifically for what you said to get that briny flavor in it. But I like that
Totally.
you're putting some olives right in this. So I love it.
Yeah.
Great. And the
Yeah.
oregano too.
Yeah. The capers is a fantastic option, no doubt. A little tip. I don't know if you do this, but sometimes I'll use the brine more than the capers themselves.
Yeah.
So then I'll actually fill it back up with water and put it back in the fridge. And that
Ooh.
new water gets briny again.
Oh, I
So
don't do that. That's very smart.
a
I love
little cheat.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So that
that's so
works
good.
well.
Because it is so sad when you run out of the juice and you're like, oh, I just needed the juice. I just
I
needed a little
know,
juice.
I know. And then I'm totally with you on the miso. Like, isn't
Oh,
miso such a magic ingredient for
magic.
just giving that depth of flavor to food?
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
when I used to tour a lot more, and I'd be going around the country, and this was probably 10 years ago, and my goal was to see in grocery stores like who had it, who didn't, what sort of variety they had, because So many stores I still go into when I'm traveling sometime, and I'm just a weirdo. I'll be like, let me see if they got miso here when I'm in some like random
How
town
good is this
USA.
store?
Yeah. And like, sometimes they don't. Other times I'll ask somebody and they take me into the international aisle and they show me
Yes,
like a package of miso soup, and I'm like,
yes.
close, but not
Oh,
quite.
miso soup. Yeah, I was gonna say, sometimes I find it shelf stable in
There
the
is
international
like in the
section.
squeezy bottle. Have you seen
This
that
Yeah,
one?
have you
Yeah.
experimented with any of those?
I have had the squeezy bottle before. It was quite some time ago, but it was on one of those journeys where I was like, I
Yeah.
need miso. This is
Okay,
the
it
only thing they
works.
have. Yeah, it
Yeah,
worked. It did the trick.
yeah.
But I find myself now, and I feel like listeners, I'm so sorry because I feel like I've said this so many times. I find myself now if I'm starting to run out, like when I go to the store to get it, I get 2 containers because I'm like, I just can't
Ah,
not have it on hand. Like I just want it
yes.
always on hand. So to me,
Yes.
it's a love ingredient for
Absolutely.
me.
Like, aren't there those ingredients that the minute you see they're running out, it's on your list to make sure you've got more?
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
just could not have that
yeah.
ingredient. No, yes.
Absolutely. It's a
Kitchen.
good
Yeah,
one.
miso for me too.
Uh, well, we should mention the QR code you've included in the book. So tell our listeners what you've done here with QR codes.
Okay.
There's a smattering of them throughout the book, making this even more approachable and educational for the home cook. So please share.
Thank you. Yeah, so the QR codes, so really one of the reasons I wrote this cookbook is people were saying I would eat this way all the time if only you'd cook for me. And I'm sure, Dustin, you hear that all the time too. And I mean, of course you're flattered, but it also makes you sad because you're not getting cook for everybody,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I thought, so I'm going to write this cookbook and I want to make it as user friendly as possible. So it feels for the home cook like it's the next best thing for me being there with
Mhm.
them. And that's why I decided to put some QR codes in. So in some cases, I demonstrate how to make the recipe. In other cases, I show people sort of I think I've got one in there like my favorite kitchen appliances for easing the plant-based prep process. And
Okay.
well, as you say, I've got a smattering throughout. And it's just like whenever I thought there's something I want to show people here to just make it easier for them, I'm going to put a video in for that.
That's
Oh, like
great.
I have one for, I happen to love pomegranate. So delicious. They're
Same.
tart, they're sweet. You love them too.
Yeah.
High in antioxidants. I just love the juicy bite. But like, what a pain to get the arils out of it.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to just go buy the plastic. First of all, it's the plastic. Second of all, it's like, how long have they been sitting there? Right. So
Yeah.
I have a demonstration for my favorite way of getting the arils out of the pomegranate without making a mess.
What is your favorite way though?
My
I'm so
favorite way,
curious now.
cut it in half,
Uh-huh.
get a big bowl of water, right? You know that
Yep.
one too?
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Put it under the water and they all come out easily and you just
Yep.
haven't made a mess.
Yep. Yeah.
And the seeds float, they sink to the bottom and the pith floats to the top and it's
Yeah.
like very easy and satisfying. Yeah.
I didn't learn that technique though as quickly in my culinary career as I wish I had though, because so many times I just made the biggest mess all over my cutting
Right.
board and everything. And listeners, Diana's so right. When you buy them in the plastic container, there have been times in a pinch I do it, but I only do it if like I'm gonna use them that day, because once those seeds are like out in the air and then being packaged, like they go south pretty quickly, I feel like.
Yes. Yes,
So
they do.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's true. Like sometimes in a pinch and you can't get a fresh pomegranate. So that's fine. But this is interesting. So I had a whole bunch of testers for my cookbook. Like
Mhm.
I was saying I wanted it to be user friendly. So one of the things was these recipes are going to work. Because you know what, a home cook oftentimes doesn't have confidence. If the recipe doesn't work, they think they did something wrong. Sometimes the recipes aren't great. So I wanted to
Sure.
make sure they work. So I wrote to my blog is Beantown Kitchen. I wrote to my email list. I said, anyone interested in testing a recipe? I thought I might find somebody. I ended up with 58 testers.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Some of them, like everyday home cooks, which is exactly what I wanted. And I also had some professionals
Mhm.
who, professional cooks or had done some professional testing. So it was a huge, long process, but I am so incredibly grateful for them. And the reason why I mentioned this, because on the subject of pomegranates, one of my recipes required pomegranates, and the tester said he couldn't find them, but he used some frozen pomegranate. and he said it worked fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the texture was not ideal, and visually it wasn't ideal, but in a pinch, a frozen pomegranate can do the trick too.
Yeah, I've had those too. I really do have such a love for pomegranate. Like
Me
it's
too.
you and I could have dinner together easily, I can tell.
I can tell for
It's just
sure.
and it always adds like a fun pop of color too, I feel like. I have
Totally.
this memory with pomegranate, and then I promise I'll shut up about pomegranate, everybody. Um, in Italy, when we were filming season 3 of the Vegan Roadie, we filmed at this olive farm, I guess, where they would make olive oil and stuff, and we had dinner with them after, and there was this small child sitting at the table who tore into a pomegranate in a way that I didn't know. He was just eating it almost like an apple, and I was like, this is the most magnificent thing I've
Yes,
ever seen in my entire, like, he
yes,
wasn't
with
eating the outside
abandon.
like that, but he was literally just like picking the seeds out and just like eating it like so
Ah,
fast, and it was so fresh, and I was like,
yeah.
I'm so jealous right now. I
Life
want that
goals.
pomegranate. Yeah, and I was, and he just had no, he was just so happy. Like he was
Yeah.
just like, and I was like, oh, that looks
Uh,
delicious. Good
I'm
for him.
wondering, like, where would I need to be to do that? I think I might need to be on a beach where I could, like,
Yeah,
just jump in the water
just get
afterwards.
it ever. Yeah, because there was just juice everywhere. He was sitting at the table, and it was
Ah,
a normal activity there. It was just
ah,
like, and I was
to
like,
be
we
a
need.
child.
Yes, I was like, we need to normalize eating pomegranate like
We
this. This
do.
is beautiful. Oh, goodness. Well, the next chapter is entrees and accompaniments. I see Beantown baked beans straight out the gate. So tell us
Gotta
about
have
these
them.
baked
Gotta have
beans.
them. Yep. Beantown Beantown is Boston's nickname for anyone that doesn't know.
Yep.
Little play on words, needed to have the baked beans. Um, and yeah, they're pretty delicious with a little bit of molasses and ginger and a pinch of cloves. Don't overdo it with the cloves. That's
Yeah,
one of
right.
those spices, right? That could really kill a dish. Yeah, so I
I'm
got
shaking my head from experience. I have killed several dishes with
that.
clove.
Yes.
Um, it's why can't someone, so for anyone who's curious out there, why can't someone just grab a can of baked beans at the store?
Oh, you could.
Do they
Oh,
have,
oh, baked beans. Oh,
yeah,
baked
yeah,
beans.
yeah. There's is
Okay.
there I know there's like pork and beans, right? But like baked
Yes.
beans, don't do they have something in the store in the can that we don't want that's not vegan?
Um,
We don't
yeah, it
know.
might be the pork. What else would it be? Ham?
Yeah, I just
That is pork. Yeah, silly
yeah,
me.
I think that must be
Um,
what it is, right? But anyways,
yeah,
making it on your own is
yeah, making it on
the
your
way to go.
own, it's
Plus,
pretty
like those
easy.
delicious ginger and the cloves, the spices in there,
It's
so
like just
good.
really all those warming spices. It
Yes.
just, if you're a baked bean person, and then you put it on rice, and again, beans are so filling, and yeah, all
Yeah,
of
and
that.
so
But
good for you to
yeah, I'm
regulate your
not
blood
shaming anyone
sugar.
that finds those vegan baked beans and goes
Yeah,
for
right?
them.
Oh, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I
Yeah.
think there's something beyond the pork that I can't think of that's, like,
Yeah,
in a
what would
can
it
of baked
be?
beans. But,
Um,
somebody can reach out and tell me on,
yeah, yeah, again, right.
socials or email me. I'd be happy to know. Well, say someone just picked up this book and they're having a dinner party this weekend, quite like
Yeah.
yourself. What's a dish you would tell them to make for their guests from this chapter?
Okay, so, like, the tofu mushroom marsala is, like, super
Mm.
elevated, like, I think it's, like, the most kind of elegant dish, a little bit more of an effort, but quite delicious if you like marsala flavors. I used to love chicken marsala, so that's kind of like a veganized version. But what I would say is for dinner party, you know, people like to have agency, and sometimes if you just sort of put a dish in front of them and it's food they're not necessarily used to, it can be a little bit of a stretch for them. So for
Sure.
instance, tofu, mushroom, or salad, like, do I know that they're going to like tofu and etc. So I like to put out a whole buffet of things for people to do your build your own. And one concept along those lines is a black bean tortilla bar. So I'll have the black
Oh.
beans, I'll have the sort of the tortillas, I'll have a lime crema to put on top, some salsa, all sorts of vegetables. Let's see what else I've got in there. Um, and some plant-based cheese and corn, and I like to have mangoes. And when I put a bar out like that, so someone hates cilantro, fine. They don't have to have
You don't
cilantro,
have to
right?
have it. That's exactly
Right?
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they're a little nervous about the beans they can put, so
Yeah.
I like to do that kind of thing. I also do something along those lines with a Thai bowl. And oh, I'm looking. There's so many things here. Like uh, crab cakes is one of the
Oh,
favorites, which
nice.
I've
Yeah.
gotten here too. Crab cakes, but for build your own bowl, I also have a Thai bowl, and that might be in the
Oh,
bowl
yeah.
section,
In the
salad
bowl
bowl.
section, you got the rainbow Thai bowl with the peanut lime ginger sauce. Yeah.
Exactly. And I do find that in general, people like a peanut sauce.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to be okay with rice. There's some crispy tofu. Again, put it on or don't put it in all sorts of vegetables. And like the building your own bowl concept makes people feel, like I said, like they have agency and it just feels
Yeah.
more comfortable for them. So depending on my crowd, I might do something like that. That's also super nice in the summertime if you have a place to set it out outside and eat outside. I really like that. Make a drink that's kind of
Yeah.
along the lines. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And there really are so many great dishes in here. We got curried sweet potato burgers, pickled red onions. So this is again entrees and accompaniments. So you've got some nice staple items in here. People might keep in their fridge on hand to because you keep pickled red onions, everybody. You can't go wrong having those in the fridge. You need a pop on a taco, on a sandwich, on a salad. You've got pickled red onions.
I
You're
was just
set,
gonna say,
ready to
like, what do
go.
you put it on? Exactly. A sandwich, a
Yeah.
salad, a taco, right.
Yeah.
A
So many, a
little bit of
burrito,
sweetness, a little
anything.
saltiness, a little
Yep.
sour, a little crunch,
And it's
color.
gorgeous. Yeah.
Gorgeous. Exactly.
Gorgeous. It's
Gorgeous.
nice
Yeah.
and bright. We got tempeh mango and kimchi sushi rolls in here, loaded baked potato bowl with salsa, black beans, corn, and avocado, sweet potato and two bean chili, and pesto pizza with roasted potato and
Mm,
caramelized onions. I'm all for that. This takes us into
I-
sandwiches and wraps. Go
Yeah.
to items in here like a tempeh BLT, marinated tempeh and sweet potato wrap, Israeli pomegranate salad. Let's hear it for the pomegranate.
Yeah, I was gonna say exactly that the pomegranate turns up there.
I love
Yep.
it. And a portobello mushroom shawarma and lemon with lemon tahini sauce. Love a good lemon tahini sauce. And this leads us into the drinks chapter. I
Yep.
love a list of beverages. They are full of nutrient dense ingredients in this list. What's a favorite for you to sip on from this chapter?
Oh, okay. So like I have here the recovery peanut butter chocolate milk. My
Mm.
husband's he's a plant-based athlete. He qualified and competed in the half Ironman World
All
Championship.
right. All
Yeah.
right.
Runs the Boston Marathon. He runs a bunch of marathons, like
Amazing.
all fueled by plants. So a lot of the inspiration for my cooking is like what's going to give him great nutrition
Yeah.
pre-workout,
Yeah.
post-workout. So I love this recovery peanut butter chocolate milk for him. I also happen to adore just like making my own tea. And I'm sure, Dustin, you've had this experience too when you travel. Like it's really fun to try something completely different you haven't had before. And when I was visiting my daughter, who was studying or she was working in Rotterdam, um, they would serve teas simply like if you had a ginger mint and lemon tea, there was a piece of ginger in it, there was some fresh mint, and there was a
Ah.
piece of lemon, right? And
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, what a concept. That's not
Yeah.
coming in a bag. And I love that so much. So I
Yeah.
have a couple of teas like that,
Oh,
um,
cool. Okay.
inspired by the cafes
Oh, I love that.
in Rotterdam. Oh, and then there's always like sweet turmeric tea, which is just so
Mm.
delicious. Turmeric,
Yeah. So good for you.
ginger,
Yep.
you can sweeten it up, a little lemon, and then you always put that little bit of black pepper to make the curcumin
Uh-huh.
more bioavailable, right? So
Yeah.
thinking about nutrition, thinking about how it looks, thinking about how it tastes.
Explain that again. What does the black pepper do for us?
Okay, so in turmeric, there's a ingredient or a component called curcumin, Circumin, I believe it's spelled, and it's very high. It's very rich in antioxidants, really good for us. And to make it more bioavailable, so that our cells can absorb it more easily, for some reason, a little pinch of black pepper. So a
All
lot of
right.
studies have shown this. Yes. And Indian cuisine is just brilliant on that because they've got the turmeric and all, there's the black pepper, and it's just like so nutrient rich.
Yeah. All
Mm.
right. That's great. Well, for those with a sweet tooth like me, we are off to the final chapter here. Desserts. What is a sweet treat from this chapter we might see on regular rotation in your home?
Yeah, regular rotation. Okay, so there is a chocolate mousse in this section with raspberries that
Mm,
people have told me is like the gateway food to plant-based eating.
great. Love
Again,
that.
because it's really sweet, so simple to make, and I actually have a comparison in the front of the cookbook where I compare the nutritional value of this chocolate mousse to a standard chocolate mousse made with
Mm-hmm.
dairy. And it sort of addresses the myth that we need to consume dairy for calcium, because this mousse has as much calcium, just about the same amount of calcium
What's
as
the base of this mousse that you're making in here?
tofu.
There we go.
There we
All
go.
right.
Exactly.
Love
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Good.
And it's actually got, as you know, there's no dietary cholesterol. It's got more iron than a standard mousse. It's got more protein than a standard
Mm-hmm.
mousse, fewer
Yeah.
calories. So not only is it like easy to make, delicious, delicious, people are so surprised what's in it. They can't believe there's no dairy, but it's also nutritious. So
Yeah.
that's probably the go-to that I hear from people they make over and over and over again.
That's always, I love hearing that because I'm always curious. And sometimes I forget to ask this question, but I've been trying to more and more
Mhm.
lately with people who are on social media. And when they release a book, they always start to have, recipes that are made. Some get made more than others. And you
Yeah.
start to, and it's like, I remember I had this conversation with Isa, actually, speaking of her. She
Yeah.
was like, I asked her that, and she was like, well, it's funny. The recipes that you always think are going to be like the most popular, she's like, nobody touches them and they end up cooking the thing that like you just didn't really think that much about, and it's like surprising. And I was like, oh, that does kind of happen, but that just shows
Yeah.
everyone's
Yeah.
got different tastes. That's why we write a variety
A
of recipes in our
variety. It's
books.
so
Yeah,
interesting. And what did they say? Like people on average make like 2 or 3 recipes from a cookbook?
I know, which breaks my heart.
Yeah, right, right. But you and I are helping that average, right? Where
Yeah,
we're just
I
cooking
hope
everything.
so. Yes, yes, right. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Well, so many great things in this chapter. We've mentioned that mousse in here. So that's chocolate mousse with raspberries, orange chocolate chip muffins, tropical fruit macaroons, minted lime cream sauce, no bake brownies, pumpkin cranberry oat cookies. Yes. Blueberry lemon muffins, ultimate popcorn clusters with chocolate drizzle and peanut butter, and berry date bites, almond joy date bites, and chocolate cups 2 ways. This takes us to the end of the book. And now I ask you, what is your book brag? Something you're most proud of when it comes to
Oh,
this book?
book brag. Okay. So I'm really gratified. I'm so grateful for all the help I had with this book, for sure. And I'm so thrilled that the book has given me an opportunity to speak about a message that I care so deeply about, which is really why I wrote it, and to obviously help people in the kitchen. So, a book brag is one I sold through all my first run. So, it's on a second print run. So,
Woo!
that's
Nice.
great.
Nice.
Also, can I have a few? 4
Absolutely.
awards.
Beautiful.
So that's great. And I think the thing that probably is the most gratifying and surprising about this book is that people are telling me that they're reading the book cover to cover, and I did not
Oh,
expect that. And I think a lot of that has to do with my dear, dear friend, Annie Bernhard, who um, she was the copy editor for the book, and we just
okay.
had the greatest time right on thinking about each word.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we had fun doing it. And people are saying they're reading it cover to cover, and they've saying things like it's really helping them to change their habits, change the way they eat, change the way that they think about food, and help them in the kitchen. So I love that. And they're coming back and buying more books for their friends, their family, and it really warms my heart when people buy the book and say, I'm buying this for my vegan daughter. I'm buying this for my vegan friend. Because I think they're going to be so touched when they get the book. because you know what's important to them and you're thinking about them and you want to really support
Yeah.
them. So that I love that.
I love that too. That's a great book brag.
Mhm.
Well, are you ready for your rapid fire round of questions here?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Number one, favorite kind of muffin?
Oh, favorite kind of muffin. Um, Orange chocolate chip muffin.
From
I
a great book
love
called Plants for
You
You.
can find it in there. I love the combination of orange and chocolate.
Yeah, that's a
And
good one.
also, and I heard you talking to a guest about this, how wonderful it is to put muffins in the freezer.
Oh my gosh, because you make 12, and what if you don't need
Yeah.
12 right then?
And then you have friends over and you have a cup of tea and you take it out and you put it in your toaster
Yep.
oven and it's nice and warm and wonderful.
Yeah.
So, yes.
I also do the same now with cookies and like anything sweet I make almost essentially. Like
Oh,
if I want a cookie and I'm like, well, there's gonna be 24 cookies when I'm done with this, and like I've taken some to the neighbors. What do I do with the rest? I'll put them in the freezer and take one out when I want. It takes like 10 minutes for it to come to room temp, and then you're like, great, got
totally.
a delicious cookie. I
Absolutely.
just made brownies. I might do the same thing with that, you know.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
utilize the freezer. Okay,
Uh-huh.
what's your most used emoji?
Oh my gosh. Oh, do you know I'm an emoji user? I'm a
Are
big
you?
emoji.
Are you? Oh, I
Definitely.
love it. Which one do you
Okay.
think you use the most then?
Oh yeah, I definitely the smiley face with like 3 hearts around it,
Yep. Okay. Yep.
or 4 hearts maybe. I
It's
don't
probably
know.
one
Like
of
that
my
one
most used
speaks to
ones
me
too.
when
Yeah.
someone's,
Uh-huh.
like oftentimes someone says something and that's the one I'm
Yep.
yeah, it's the right answer.
Yep. It's emoting the positive feelings. That's
Yeah.
good. Favorite kind of pasta?
Oh, vermicelli. So
Nice.
rice vermicelli and a
Mm,
Singapore noodles.
delicious.
Yum.
Have you ever been told you look like someone famous, and who?
Oh, really? Huh. It used to be people would say, Princess Diana, but
Okay.
I think
Okay.
that's because I used to have her hair cut and my hair was
Oh, like short and
longer.
okay.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
short and I had a thing and it was what I think that there was a time that people said in my name being Diana, maybe that
Yeah.
was like on their mind. Hasn't
I
there
can see
have
it
been
though.
others. Do you have someone in mind?
V no, that was
No.
it's just on my list. I was
Okay.
curious
All
to
right,
see,
great.
yeah, but
Yes,
when
I
you
did
said
used to
Princess
hear that
Di,
one.
yeah, I can see that.
Uh-huh.
I've gotten Vince Vaughn. I used to get Vince
Oh,
Vaughn, and
yeah.
I guess, I don't
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
but,
yeah, 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 yeah.
he's very tall. I wish I was that t actually, I'm fine with my height. I have no complaints.
Good.
Is there a food or ingredient you used to majorly dislike that now you love?
Oh my gosh, that's wild because, I did not as a child, I didn't like food, like, just period. It was like,
Oh,
ugh,
yeah.
ew. I remember, like, someone I mean, even in college, my husband made me a tuna melt, and that was huge that
Yeah.
I would eat tuna and cheese and, like, wow. So, so many ingredients, but
You're like all the things.
all the things. Top of mind, like, maybe beets.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Maybe that's the hugest surprise. If you had told 8-year-old Diana that she liked beets, she would probably been most shocked by that.
How funny. That is very funny that you were not a fan of
No,
ingredients in general. Yeah.
in general.
Do you have a favorite tradition or holiday?
Oh my gosh, so many. I love Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
It's at my brother's house. There's usually 30 something.
Mhm.
Sometimes we actually rotate between my brother and my sister-in-law, go from one side of the family to the other, see all the cousins, see the parent. It's just
Yeah.
so wonderful. So I just love that holiday. And also we're so lucky because everybody is so caring about making sure that we have
Oh,
wonderful food
good.
to eat. And
That's
it's just
nice.
like a vegan feast.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great. Lovely. What did you bake last?
Oh, what did I bake last? I baked last a orange marmalade cake.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yep.
Do you like popcorn? And if so, what's your favorite way to season it?
Oh, I love popcorn, nutritional yeast and olive oil and salt.
Ah, very good. Do you prefer sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise, sunset,
Yeah.
sunrise. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, "Wait, she's gonna sing both of them. I know that tune."
Right.
Books or audiobooks?
Oh, books or audiobooks? Audiobooks all the way, like while you're cooking, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
I just listened to part one of Cher's autobiography, and now
Yeah.
we have to wait. She did it in two parts, so
I
now I gotta wait
know.
until November for the second part.
Yes. I didn't listen to that, but I listened to the 2 women who talk about biographies. Is it like the celebrity
Wha
biography book club or something?
There's one I listened to where she covers autobiographies too. I can't remember the name. It's a podcast though.
Yeah, podcast, yeah.
I think she calls it
Yeah.
Glamorous Trash. Is that
Oh,
familiar? Is
okay,
that the one
okay.
you're listening to?
Similar
I
idea.
think mine might only have one though. She has guests on though, so
Okay, so
you
it's a
know.
different one.
But it's always fun to hear them go through it and get their perspective of,
Totally,
yeah, I
yeah,
love that.
yeah.
What is your cell phone wallpaper?
On my cell phone wallpaper is, my husband on a bike in Italy.
Nice,
This is
nice.
just, like, pretty epic with the mountains, yeah.
Oh yeah, and athletic. There he is,
And
right
there he
there.
is on the
So
bike,
good.
yeah.
And do you like to dance? And if so, are you a good dancer?
I'm a terrible dancer, and I love to dance.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Good for you.
I can't put me at a party, the music comes on, I am on the dance floor. I It's one of my
Fantastic.
favorite things in the world to do.
Oh, I
I
love
gotta take
it.
dance lessons, so
Nah, just live your life.
just do
Do
it.
it like you've been doing it. Well, that's your rapid fire. Good job. Well, please tell everyone where they can find you on social media and the internet.
Okay. So my blog is Beantown Kitchen. You can find my book there. You can also find it on Amazon. My Instagram is Beantown Kitchen. My YouTube is Beantown Kitchen. What else is there? Whatever the things are, it's Beantown Kitchen.
Perfect. Makes it easy. And listeners, you can get Plants for You, vegan, plant-based, family-friendly cookbook. It's available to purchase now everywhere books are sold. Diana, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate taking the time.
Thank you. It's so much fun to talk to you.
This has been a Muzzy Cat production.